Former Vice President Joe Biden and California Senator Kamala Harris were back together for the first time since they were sparring at the Democratic debate. The presidential hopefuls are now both saying they oppose federally mandated busing. At an education forum in Houston Friday, the two described the qualifications they are looking to see in an education secretary.
First thing I will do is make sure that the Secretary of Education, not Betsy DeVos, it is a teacher.
I promise you that the person who is nominated will be someone who comes from public schools.
In an interview Friday, Biden admitted Harris's pointed attack caught him off guard since she knew his late son, Beau. He also said he would welcome the possibility of having a female running mate, but did not mention Harris by name.
CBS News political reporter Caitlin Huey-Burns joins us now this morning. Caitlin, let's start there. That interview that Biden had on Friday, beyond just talking about Kamala Harris, he also turned his attention to the president. President Trump called him a bully, talked about if the president was reelected, it would be the end of NATO. Is this a smart turn for him as the campaign really is just getting going at this point?
The former vice president has always focused his campaign on being the best person to take on Donald Trump. So he's very much been waging a general election campaign from the very beginning. But what he's starting to figure out or realize is that he has to get through the primary first. And all of his opponents are seeking or sensing weaknesses in him. And they saw some of that in the debate. And we're also seeing that in polls and from voters that we've been talking to on the ground for the past several weeks and months. They like Joe Biden. They appreciate that he's in this race, but there is a soft support for him, which means these voters are looking and interested in other candidates as well.
But this was interesting because at the debate, you watch it and you think there's this big divide between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but then they both just say yesterday they're opposed to federally mandated busing.
Right. So this is going to be something that Kamala Harris is going to have to come up with an answer to. She's kind of been talking about this and used the debate as really a moment for her to break through, but now it's the follow-up on policy. And I think these two really reflect different angles within the Democratic Party right now. You have Joe Biden, who is running the more traditional campaign, and Kamala Harris representing the more the kind of the newer wing of the party, or where the party thinks that they might be.
Caitlin, I want to go back to the U.S. Census. You're now hearing the president say this is about congressional districting and that they need this for political reasons. People were watching this all week and they saw that the Supreme Court said you can't do this. Now here we are again. Where does it stand? And is it about congressional redistricting?
That's right. Well, originally, the Supreme Court dismissed this, saying that it was contrived. The administration originally used the Voting Rights Act to support their theory of the case, and they said that that was contrived, kicking it back to the White House and kind of opening it up for them to come back with something else. Now, the question is, can they make a compelling argument? And you heard the president talking about redistricting, which is a political issue. But this is why the census is so important, because it has to do with representation in Congress, how billions of dollars in federal funds are allocated. And right now, the census helps us determine how these districts are drawn based on overall population, not on who is a citizen. And that's what opponents of the president's actions here are really concerned about, underrepresenting everybody here.
So, but this deadline passed yesterday now.
Right, and the president has been asking them to hold off and to pause. I think the bottom line here is that the president wants to be appearing to show that he is going to fight this to the end, because this is something that could very much advantage him, especially if he's reelected.
Saying even there could be an add-on, he could add something later, feel like a staple on top of your census there. Don't mind that.
Okay. Caitlin, thank you very much.
Thank you.